Percent?
No, 0.50, 50 basis points. It's not 5.0.
No,
It's 50
a
basis.
half a percent.
It's a 0.5%, 50 basis points. And so,
Don't you
I
get
did look
that?
at some prior short-term borrowings because it's the same town meeting authorization that we've been working on. And this actually was the lowest. Some of the years were 1.03. So when I went back, we've been renewing for several years, and this was, I was surprised, the lowest. It is for a higher amount. We had 750, but this is not a bad rate for this. Things are changing, hopefully, when the whole, when we go out for the long-term borrowing, we'll get some decent rates when we need those funds. So my point is that I need a document signed for the State House notes, a town clerk certificate, and 3 of the same document, which is a tax exempt document. And that means that this borrowing is tax exempt and not, is for the banks that bid on municipal borrowing. They get to enjoy a tax exempt status for their benefit, and it makes them offer us a decent rate. So there'll be 3 of those. So I would like to start, if I may, and just hand you the documents, and if you sign 5. You have voted as the town to authorize the original borrowing, but if the Board of Selectmen would like to revote to approve the renewal, that would be fine. Lori Kelly is also here to witness the signatures. That's a requirement as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, then I'm going to entertain a motion that we agree with the re-borrowing short-term for the purchase of the water company.
I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it for discussion.
It's been seconded for discussion. Mr. Vos?
Just a question. We're borrowing $960,000. This is monies that are going to be utilized for the purchase of the water company at some point. What do we anticipate of spending of this $960,000 in the near future? Any of it, or what have we spent thus far, Joe?
Basically, legal expenses thus far.
And out of this $960,000, how much do we plan on spending in this upcoming year?
Well, I'm expecting that sometime in September, and it might be the end of September, we'll have a decision from the Superior Court judge. And then depending on, I expect that if his decision is favorable to us, that Aquarion will appeal. So, but we're in good position for a quick appeal to the appeals court because we have already have our transcript of the proceedings. So I think we'll be in good shape. Time-wise, we'll be in good shape.
But there again, the $960,000, how much have we spent on legal bills thus far?
A little over 700,000.
And we have another 960, we're not planning on spending another 960.
Oh, no. We're paying off the 700 and borrowing 960, so we have an additional amount.
Okay.
And we've been paying off small amounts as we go on. Don't forget, we still have the betterments coming in on the Sutton Avenue tank. That's only about, when did we do that? 2006. So we still have 13 years coming in on that as well. Which interestingly, because they're paying over 20 years, by statute, they're paying at a 5% interest rate. By paying over time. So we're making money. Any other questions? Yes.
Yes, Chair. How much is this acquisition going to cost us for the water?
If we win everything, all our arguments in court, we'll pay $5.4 million.
All right. And does that include the $700,000 for legal fees?
No, the legal fees are on top of that. The authorization is for $6.7 million. Yes.
My only question was, so in the past, we've borrowed 710,000. Is that, so that's what we're renewing? So what's the additional 250,000?
For additional legal fees if we have them.
So we're just basically assuming that 960 is what's going to be the total.
No, it's a fair cushion because I expect that if we have to go back to court, it'll happen quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And we can spend money on lawyers real easy in court. Because I was there for 2 weeks. You know, that's 2 lawyers. Well, they spent a lot more than we did, but it's not cheap.
And just as a little bit of information, on the amount that we have borrowed on the short-term note, we have had to, after several years of short-term note borrowing, you have to start paying down. So as of tonight, we will have paid $40,000 down. We had to pay $19,000 down last year and $21,000 down this year. So we've paid back
We've paid, yes.
$40,000, so. And just as a matter of interest, this short-term note has the right to prepay without penalty. Should we have to go to the long-term borrowing, if we're successful very soon, we can prepay the short note without the penalty. If it goes out for the full year, the interest on the $960,000 is $4,800.
Any other questions? There being none, I'll call for the vote.
Yes.
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 Yes, 5 in the affirmative, motion carries.
All right,
Thank you.
I'll start the
Yep.
signatures with you, and if you pass them down, and there are 5 documents to watch out for. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, pass these down. Oops, did I get voted? It's just one?
I'm gonna step down
Yep.
from this.
The next item on the agenda is the Lions Club regarding the Lions Club Fall Festival. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you. Thanks to the board for allowing me to come before you to represent the Lions Club. We're having our annual Fall Festival on Saturday, September 21st. For those that have never come, it's a fun-filled day. We have all sorts of children activities. We have bouncy things, and this year, we're gonna have this paintball contained area. It's not really paintball, it's like Nerf balls and they'll be able to participate with that. And then we have all sorts of booths, various groups in the town. It's some are nonprofit, some are for-profit, but basically we have food and people sell wares and things like that. And so I have been the person in charge of doing the research, and I have gone to the health department, got approval there. I've gone to the police department, the fire department, discussed the issues with them, and we've got everything situated in that regard. So the only thing I really needed to, on behalf of the Lions Club, was to get approval for the entertainment and for a outdoor business permit for that particular day. So that's what I'm basically here for.
And just as background, could you tell the public how many years that the Lions Club has been doing this? I know that this is not a first time.
I think this is, it's like our 5th or 6th year.
Yeah.
I think it's our 6th year that we've been doing this. And the thing about the Lions Club, any activity that fundraiser we have. You've probably seen us at Walmart days and things like that. All this money goes back to the town, goes back to the people in the town, or goes to the Barton Center to help the kids there. We're basically, we look after the sight and hearing people and those with diabetes. Those are our champions that we really go to fight for. And we have our yearly golf tournament that we have every year. That goes strictly 100% right to the Barton Center. So you figure this year they got, I think it was somewhere around $5,500 that they received from the proceeds of our golf tournament. So that's what we do. And yeah, so this is an activity where we put out to the people of the area, you know, businesses and things like that, or crafts people. You know, KFC is there, the churches selling their food and whatnot. The kids from the school will be there. They'll be selling their various things. They come. So in years past, we had the 300th committee would set up a table and stuff so they could sell things. And that's basically what it is. It's just a fun day for the people to get together. We have all sorts of entertainment. We have Blue Man. We have a band. This year, I believe we're going to have a band this year. We have dancers that come in and dance. We have musicians, things like that. So it's should be a fun day. Rain or shine, it's usually, hopefully it's sunny out. It's much more enjoyable then. So.
Hope the weather's with you. Any board members have any questions?
Sounds like fun, though.
The Lions Club has been very active in the community, and they have been ever since they were formulated many years ago. And it's always been community first, and we appreciate everything that you people do. And it should be noted too that it's nonprofit, and it's run by all volunteers. This organization is strictly volunteers who spend a lot of time on helping people in the community. So I personally wish you well, and I will entertain a motion to grant an outdoor business permit and also a general entertainment license.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion? There being none, I'll call for the vote.
Yes.
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 Yes, 4 in the affirmative, 1 abstention, motion carries. Thank you and
you.
good luck.
Thanks.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is an update concerning 8 Patton Street. Animal Control Officer Kelly Flint. Hi, Kelly.
Hello. Okay, so the follow-up on Quentin Brunette and his dog Cooper is as follows. On August 5th, 2013, I inspected the dog pen at 8 Patton Street, and I observed that the chain link pen in the backyard had been finished with the addition of a cement floor and a roof made of chain link and a blue tarp, chain link fence and a blue tarp. There is also an igloo doghouse of sufficient size for Cooper inside the pen. On August 6, 2013, I went to the Northeast Canine Academy in Dudley, Mass. to meet with the trainer who Mr. Brunette has chosen to train his dog Cooper. Mr. Richard Dumichel has been the trainer and owner of Northeast Canine Academy since 1997. He was the Dudley Animal Control Officer for 5 years. He is an AKC Canine Good Citizenship Evaluator, and he is a certified dog trainer through the United States Canine Academy in Connecticut. He appears to be qualified to train Mr. Brunette's dog Cooper. Mr. Dumichel explained that his training schedule would be as follows. Number 1, the owner brings the dog in for an evaluation. Mr. Brunette brought Cooper in on August 7th at 6:00 p.m. Mr. Dumichel said that the evaluation went well and that Cooper seemed like a very friendly dog who was not aggressive with him. He stated that something is triggering his behavior and that they would have to figure out what it is. The owner brings the dog into Northeast Academy for a week of training with Mr. Dumichel, and the dog stays there for the entire week. Mr. Dumichel stated that Mr. Brunette had given him a deposit on the training, and he is scheduled to start today, August 20th, 2013. Thirdly, Mr. Dumichel works with the owner once a week until the training process with the owner is done. And fourth, Mr. Dumichel will give the Board of Selectmen a written report at that time.
Thank you, Kelly.
Okay.
Board members have any questions, concerns?
No, sounds like it's,
So you seem satisfied that everything is going as planned?
Yes, I do, yeah.
Okay. I just have one question. The length of time on the training, do you have any indication? You say a week here. In my mind, it seems that a dog with that kind of an issue would take a heck of a lot longer than 1 week of training.
Right, well, he works with the dog himself, the trainer works with the dog for a week, and then the owner comes once a week until it's done, the training between the owner and the dog is done. I said, no matter how long that takes, he said, no matter how long that takes.
Oh, okay.
I mean, hopefully, it won't take months and months and months, but,
Very good.
So it sounds like the owner gets training too,
exactly.
which I think was the point made
Yeah, I
by
think that was a good
Mr.
point.
Mahoda.
Yeah, in this case, it was both that needed the help. Okay, well, thank you very much. And I noticed you dropped off some photos to our office of the
Yeah, we had a
animal
couple-
control
Sorry.
shelter.
Yeah.
And if anyone hasn't seen the job that these people have done down there, including, obviously, Mr. LaMarche, what they've done down there is it's just amazing. The transformation of that place over the past year has just been outstanding. The first picture that we saw was when the new building was just done. And then they went on to dress it up a bit, and they re-sided the old shelter and made it look like one big compound with plantings and benches and what have you. I just think the job has been outstanding. Ms. LaMarche, I really give you
Oh, thanks.
kudos.
Well, she's
for
been
that.
doing a great
And
job.
I know she has.
And
I know the
volunteers,
inside of that
volunteers.
building is just,
She also put a fence up and some shrubs in front of the tank, so you don't see that anymore. And I saw a little table out there and everything. It's,
really looks good.
it does, it's good job.
We've come a long way. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Kelly.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Boy, we're way ahead of schedule here tonight. We're gonna be out of here early.
Don't jinx this way.
You had to say that, huh?
A discussion regarding the relocation of precinct 3. Town clerk, could you come forward, please? Okay, this, as you know, board members, is an issue that I brought up back in May. And I brought it up in the past, too, but most recently back in May, requesting that the board at least examine and look at the possibility, the pros and the cons of moving precinct 3 from here in the upstairs of the town hall to the middle school where we have precinct 2. It would be the same type of setup as we have at the Chafee School with precincts 1 and 4. And if you know the facility and the parking in the area, you can visualize the difference between the Chafee School and the middle school. The middle school actually has more parking available than the Chafee School does. But the issue here is consolidating it to go from 3 locations down to 2. And one of the main reasons, in my mind, was the complaints that I've gotten over the past from not only disabled people that come into this building, but people that come in after work or the elderly during the day come in to vote. They have to come in either the front or the back, and they still have to go either up an elevator or upstairs. And if the the handicapped are coming in, they're coming in through the back ramp. And if anybody's come in the back door, you know that corridor from the back ramp door to the main hall downstairs is a narrow walkway. So if someone's coming in with in a wheelchair and someone else is trying to go out of the building, somebody's got to back up. It's either the handicapped person or the person who's unhandicapped. And it makes for an awkward situation. And I think our primary purpose here is to ensure that the residents and the voters are taken care of here. It's their convenience that we're concerned about first, not the convenience of people who work in the town hall or the politicians or anybody else. It's the voter. Access, easy access. And I don't care how you look at it. I've looked at it a number of different ways, and I see more positives to moving it than negatives. You have to understand that this is a working building during the day. There are people that come in and out of here to go to the town clerk's office for service, the assessor's office, the treasurer's office, the health board, whatever else we have going in this building. So you have traffic coming in all the time. Where at the schools, you don't have that. Kids go to school at one time in the morning, they're picked up in the afternoon. There's no constant traffic in and out of the building. Similarly with the parking lot. We have a parking lot here. We have several businesses that utilize this parking lot in the backyard, and there's cars constantly going through. So there's a number of positives here. And I waited from May till now to bring it back up to give everyone a chance to formulate their own opinions and concerns about the move. So if you have any concerns, questions, we have the town clerk here. Now's the time to ask those questions before we take a vote. So I'll open it up to board members.
What do you think, Laurie?
Bring it on, I can make it work.
Do you,
I can't think of anything negative about it. It is a good-sized parking lot. Middle school kids do not drive to school. The parent pickup and drop-off is in the southerly side driveway. The teachers at the middle school have been very accommodating, parking in front of the building instead of on the side on election days. We already have more than the required handicap spots there. In fact, we have them at two different sidewalks, so that if they park near this sidewalk, you know, it's the right slope and there's a handicap spot there. And if they park at this sidewalk, same situation, which we had a little curing to do there, but we did that several years ago when we moved out of Clara Barton School and into the middle school. So it's all set. I mean, we know that the doors there are properly equipped, that we have a pretty good sized storage room there for the booths. We can always keep them here if we need to, but it's much easier to just pull them out of the closet and set them up when we're there. The staff at the middle school has been very accommodating, and I don't think it's going to have any more impact at all on the school operation. We kind of stay, I know a lot of you aren't in precinct 2, so we kind of stay in the gym area, and it's in the door, take the first right, and we don't need to go into the school at all. The constable is in and out of the hallway there, so I'm not concerned about any school security issues. He's either at the door or right in the hallway, so, you know, I think it's a good location to do that.
well, staffing, is this going to decrease the amount of people you need, or is it going to
No.
roughly the same?
The law stipulates if we had under 3,000 voters total, then we could decrease, but we would still have to have 2 check-in lists for the 2 precincts, 2 checkout lists, and 2 scanners. So we're
in
over
essence-
that. We're over 4,000.
In essence, we're just taking whatever we have here and we're bringing it
Right.
there.
Right,
people
there's no
included.
decrease. And, you know, at times, during a busy election, we may need, as we do at Chafee School, we may need 2 constables, one for inside, one for outside within the 150 feet. After that, it's not their jurisdiction anyway. So, you know, that's one position that we might be able to cut back on, but I don't really know
And
that we need to.
How about, as far as time, the voters getting in and out, is this kind of, you think this is going to help speed up the process at this location? Is it going to slow it down? Or you think it's going to be done in a timely manner, say for a presidential election where you have, you know, everyone comes out for the presidential elections, that facility is going to be more than adequate to handle both precincts?
Yeah, it's a pretty good-sized parking lot there, and in the past, we've had agreement with the school department that they have in-service days on presidential elections. So we don't have the teacher parking. At Chafee, what we do is behind the school, they have a storage garage, And the election workers, which is, 8 people, they park over there, so they're not even in the parking lot. And there's ample parking in front of Chafee School. It's a little more walking, but if you've ever been to a polling place in Webster or Auburn, those 5 precincts in those 2 towns, they walk a ways
Right,
to
they-
get into
they-
their buildings.
Like Webster does, everything,
Building.
one place. So
Right.
Robin, too.
I have no
In
problem with
Webster,
it.
it's tough parking downtown in Webster on a regular day, so, no, I think would be okay. And actually, our parking lot gets pretty full. I mean, if the senior center has something going on beyond lunch, which that in itself, there's quite a few people that take advantage of the lunch program. So between the town hall employees, the package store, the bank, the senior center, and some of the other people visiting the plaza next door, our parking lot does get pretty full on an ordinary day.
And then just one last question. How will we let the people know that they currently vote at the town hall, that they will be voting at the middle school now? Is that going to be done through tax bills, or how, we're not going to?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. The selectmen are required to send a notice to every household with a registered voter. So if you were receiving a notice and you have 3 voters in your house, we can generate the report to help Karen out, but we could also tweak it ourselves, so it would be 1 notice to the household, not 1 for each of you. So we're looking at about close to 1,300 pieces mailed, and we are required to mail it, but you also need to post it in a number of locations. And of course, the law was before the web, so we can take advantage of getting that notice out on the internet too, on our webpage and on the cable channel. And we have plenty of time. It won't impact town meeting because they're all going to the same location. So we have plenty of time to get the notices out before the next election next May.
We hope
Let's
nothing
hope.
sooner.
So it's a bit of an expense postage-wise. You can do it in the form of a postcard. Sometimes those are more work than they're worth because they're expensive to buy. They get crinkled in the mail, and I'm always afraid that they get lost. So to me, it might be worth an actual form letter in a regular envelope and pay the regular postage to make sure people get it.
And we got a congressman to send them out. He gets free postage, doesn't he?
Yeah.
No, I have no problem, but I think it's a great idea. I think it's probably a long time coming that this is done, and definitely no problem with it.
Yes.
I agree. I was just waiting for Mike to, I think it's a great idea. I've come up here at times, you get the elderly, they have to, if they're parked out front, have to walk all the way down, they have to get in the elevator. Then if it's a presidential and the line's out the hall, they gotta come in, go through everything, get in line. It's a pain in the neck, the way it's set up in this building, so it would be a lot nicer. I know the Chafee School works very well. I mean, you have the 2 designated areas, and there's plenty of room there in that gym, so I can't see where there wouldn't be plenty of room in the middle school gym. That seems to be even a bigger gym than what's at Chafee, so I agree 100%. I think it's a great idea. Thanks for bringing it up, John.
Yes.
Yes, you said that you can probably put the booths in their closet. Now, there's already some booths in there from precinct 1 votes there now, correct?
2 votes there now. Yeah.
Right. So they must already keep their booths in this closet, correct or no?
Right. Right, and the booths for this precinct are in the cellar here. Most of the time, the booths are closed up so that the size of a suitcase. We have a good-sized closet at the middle school, so we kind of leave them open with the legs already set up. It's just less work to do.
But there'll be room.
But we can always close them and, reset them up. The past year, when we've had elections every 4 weeks for 3 months, and then every 4 weeks for 3 more months, it's a bit of a pain in the neck to be reassembling booths all the time. But there's ample room. We don't have to store them there, and some things have to be stored here. The scanners have to be stored in the vault. Because they're serviced, and I know they're protected in our vault here. The booths are really just a mechanism for people to step inside and have some privacy. They're really just hunks of plastic that they step into to vote. So there's nothing mechanical except for the light bulb on the booths. And ours are in good shape. We've had them since '04, and we bought plenty while we were getting reimbursement from the state on it. So good for a while on those.
Any other comments? I would just like to say, Lori, that we already run a very efficient electoral system in this town. I mean, the way you have it set up in Chafee School, I haven't been to the inside the middle school you set up, but I can visualize it's similar to what you have at the Chafee School. And it just flows, everything just flows perfectly. I've never had anyone complain about the Chafee School as far as getting in and out, voting. Everything seems to be run very smoothly and efficiently. And I think that this move is going to add to the efficiency that you people already do with your electoral process.
Thank you.
So,
I just want to mention one thing that I mentioned to you earlier, just so you're aware of it. One thing that we'll need to make sure is that we have sufficient power outlets on the second side of the gym at the middle school. And, you know, there is a project going on there right now. So that's something I want to check on with, when I can connect with one of the custodians, because right now they're out of the building. But just to make sure, I know there's one plug for a coffee pot, but we need to make sure there's a separate plug for the scanner and separate plugs for the booths, because the scanner can't be plugged in with anything else that day. And we also have the touch screen, the AutoMark system. I'm sure you've all tried it. So we need to make sure we have ample outlets well in advance of the May election, so we're ready to go.
very good.
Thank you for
There are
asking.
no other questions. Lori, you have no final comments? There
No, I
being
don't.
none, I'm going to call for the vote.
I'll make the motion that we,
Thank you.
change the location of precinct 3 and 2 to the middle school.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded, discussion. There being none, I'll call for the vote.
Yes.
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 Yes, 5 in the affirmative, motion carries. Thank you, Lori, and good luck.
Thanks.
Thanks, Laurie.
Town managers report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Managers report for August 20th. Meeting minutes. Request the board vote to approve the meeting minutes of July 9th. All members were present. Pleasure of the board.
Entertain a motion.
So moved?
Second.
Moved and seconded, discussion. Being none, call for the vote.
Yes.
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 Yes, 5 in the affirmative, motion carries.
We have another request for a 5K road race. The board's received a request from Ms. Sherry DuPont of Spirit Central Cheer and Dance Facility in Webster to hold a 5K road race on Saturday, October 19th, 2013, and a family event during and after the race at Joslin Park. The event is a fundraiser for the cheerleaders at the gym. Start times for registration and the race have not yet been established. Approval of the race and the route, as well as the family event at Joslin Park, should be contingent upon the approval of Police Chief Michael Hassett and the Board of Health, and of course, Fire Chief Sherry Bemis. The proposed route is the same as that used on Saturday, July 13th, which is start on Main Street near the library, head north on Main Street, left on Church Street to the end, and turn around. Come back down Church Street and turn left onto Forest Street, left onto Page Lane, right onto Rocky Hill Road, and then right back onto Main Street to the finish line, which will be near the library. Pleasure of the board to approve the road race and use of Joslin Park for the family event.
Entertain a motion.
So moved?
A second for some
Moved
discussion.
and seconded, discussion. Mr. Vos?
Yes, this is the Spirit Central, Spirit Central Cheer and Dance Facility. They're a for-profit in Webster, Mass. They're not from the town of Oxford, they're from Webster.
I don't know that they're for-profit.
Well, okay.
Most are.
Star? Okay.
Star, I don't, and they're from Webster. My question is, police detail. There's gonna be police detail. Who is picking up the expense for the police detail? I have no problem with road races. I think it's,
They would
No.
charge the people.
They will charge the people.
Right.
They do.
well, I just wanna make sure of that, because more and more you see these road races, and I think they're great events, they're great fundraisers, they're activities for people to do. That's fantastic. And if they're for nonprofits, that's great as well. But if, taxpayers of Oxford can't be paying for a police
No.
detail for-profit businesses from other communities, so can you look into that, Joe, just to,
We'll make sure, I think Karen's saying that they will be charged for that, correct?
Sherry said that there's money they put aside for police details.
Okay.
who puts aside,
The Spirit Central Cheer,
so they will be,
they put aside.
They put it aside, Sherry, Cherie, is, DuPont is the one requesting
right, no, I understand that.
okay. And so she has money set aside to pay for the police details.
Okay, just want to make sure of that, thank you.
Thank you for bringing it up.
Okay, we'll entertain a motion.
Already did.
Okay, it's been seconded.
Yep.
So we'll just call for the vote.
Yes.
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 Yes, 5 in the affirmative, motion carries. Mr. Manager?
Town meeting articles. The planning board has requested inclusion of 2 articles on the warrant for the October special town meeting. Now, just for everybody's benefit, they're requesting articles to make changes to the zoning bylaw. And the changes to the zoning bylaw are has a very specific procedure. The person requesting the change has to submit it to the Board of Selectmen, which is being done tonight. The board then has to submit it to the planning board for consideration. The planning board then holds a public hearing and then makes a report at town meeting. And each of those steps have to be documented with paper, a detailed paper trail, so that the town clerk can certify to the Attorney General that it was done by the proper procedure. So even though the planning board wants to make the change, they still have to submit it to the selectmen first. So, tonight, I'm requesting that the board include the 2 articles on the warrant for the special town meeting. The first deals with an amendment to Chapter 12, which deals with signs, specifically to handle to deal with those newer electronic display signs. And the second deals with an amendment to Chapter 3, Section 3.9, which deals with apartments, accessory apartments. Pleasure of the board to include these articles on the special town meeting warrant and forward them to the planning board for consideration.
Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion? Being none, I'll call for the vote.
Yes.
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 Yes, 5 in the affirmative, motion carries.
Also for town meeting, the Tercentennial Committee has requested the inclusion of 2 articles on the special town meeting warrant regarding funds left over from the celebration. Pleasure of the board.
Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion? Okay. I do have a question here. Are we gonna, we should probably schedule them a time to come in on the agenda. Madam Clerk? I think a full discussion is warranted. But as you know, we don't have the town accountant should be a part of that discussion because it involves funding.
We have an opening following the sign policy. We have the sign policy scheduled for 7 PM on September 10th, so maybe following that.
Okay. Is that okay with the board to have them in?
Sounds great.
Is there anyone else we have to have in for that? Mr. Manager?
I don't think so. I'll check.
Finance, treasurer probably.
Donna,
You should probably be here.
if you can, yeah. Good.
Okay. Okay, we'll call for the vote.
Yes.
Abstain?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, 4 in the affirmative, 1 abstention, motion carries.
I'm requesting the board vote to include an article on the special town meeting warrant to amend the method of selecting members to the Charles Larned Entertainment Fund. That method is currently specified in Article 21 of the March 2, 1914 annual town meeting. We'd like to change that method. Right now, it's It's a $10,000 principal of, that generates interest, it generates revenue. You see what interest rates are like now. Doesn't generate a lot of revenue. But the trustees of that, back in 1914, $10,000 was a big deal, were elected. We can't get people to elect. So we want to do is submit an article and which we can then discuss in further detail, whether it should be done by the Board of Selectmen or appointed by the Board of Selectmen or appointed by the manager, however we want to do it, and request that to change it from an elected position to an appointed, or at least some other way, appointed position. Pleasure of the board to include that article.
Entertain a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Yes, go ahead.
I know in 1914, $10,000 would be a big deal. Are you trying to up that fund to 100,000? What are you trying to do with the money? Why do you mention?
I'm not trying to do anything with the money. I'm simply requesting that we change the method of appointing trustees to disperse the funds. Right now, they're elected officials. And that's the way things were done back then. But now it's, we had to twist Claire Wilson's arm to run for the position this time.
And buy her coffee, yeah. That's the bucket list, I got elected, so.
She gets coffee?
Yeah, she finally got elected position.
To clarify, the 10,000, the only money that can be awarded for entertainment is the annual earnings on the $10,000. We have to retain that corpus forever. That's a permanent amount. It is not earning anything, so there might be $20 worth of earnings in a year.
Yeah.
We need to have the fund built up.
A lot of entertainment with
Well,
that,
I'm
huh?
Do it without telling me.
Coffee, bubble gum.
Yeah.
Personnel board.
Okay, any other questions, concerns? There being none, I'll call for the vote.
Yes.
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 Yes, 5 in the affirmative, motion carries.
The board's in receipt of an application from Mr. Russell S. Casey to serve the town of Oxford as a constable until the annual town election in May 2015. Pleasure of the board.
Entertain a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion? There being none, I'll call for the vote.
Yes.
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 Yes, 5 in the affirmative, motion carries.
I have now a couple of announcements. The civil service list requested by the Board of Selectmen have been obtained, and we are awaiting signatures from interested candidates. The candidates have until August 27th of 2013 to sign the list or lists. You should also be aware that the civil service has advised the Selectmen's office that the board must make a conditional offer. That means it would be on the condition typically of having passed a physical aptitude test, ability test, I'm sorry, not aptitude. Make a conditional offer of employment to candidates before October 31, the date that the list expires. So, I want to let the board members know that we're going to have to hustle on this. I will notify the chief that as soon as the lists, all the signatures are in on the deadline, he will start doing his due diligence. They do background checks. We'll get you all information packets on the candidates, and we want to schedule interviews, maybe the end. Don't forget, we have town meeting the second week in October, so we might want to plan on interviews late in September, and even maybe do a special meeting to accomplish that. We've done that in the past. All right, but that's just for your information, that keep in mind, and I have to keep in mind too, that we have to do this. And then I have a follow-up from our August 6th meeting regarding Joe Jenny Road. ExxonMobil has completed the preventative maintenance work on the pipeline in Joe Jenny Road, and the road is open. And then again, in case anybody missed it, there's a special town meeting coming up on Wednesday, October 9th, 2013. It'll be held in the Oxford High School at 7 p.m. in the evening. The warrant for the town meeting is open now. We just added a few articles. and it will close at 4:30 PM on Tuesday, September 3rd, the day after Labor Day. And that completes my report for August 20th, 2013. Thank you.
Okay, Selectmen's request.
Thank you. Well, I'd just like to put a shout out to a little lady. She's 7-year-old Leah Lemoyne of Oxford, and she had a little party, and at her request, instead of getting presents, what she asked was that her friends would bring donations for the animal shelter. So what we basically have is a nice little envelope of change and a check and cash. It's about $45, something like that. But I thought it was a nice little thing, and being the person that has been working down there, she came to me with it. So I just thought it'd be nice to give her a shout out if she's watching, to say good job and thank you, because it'll go to good use. The other thing is that, in case the town missed the article in the paper, Jason Burdetta, a police officer in town, has acquired a nice grant of money to get a canine dog, and he'll be getting that dog in the next week or two. And he's done an awful lot of legwork. He's gone to various people to see if they could help out. We've built a nice little kennel in his property. It's all weatherproof so that it can be hosed down or pressure washed inside and out. The animal has its own little 8x8 area underneath the roof that it can go out and run around in, besides its little doghouse, which is about 4x8. It's a nice little shed thing that was built. So the dog will be housed at his house, because in case he gets a call, I guess. And IPG, from what I understand, is supposed to be donating a huge sum of money so that they can get a vehicle that'll be used with that particular dog. So I just think he's been trying this for years, and he finally come up with this grant money, and we're now getting a canine for this town, and it's a credit to him. So I just wanted to say thank you to Jason for the great work he's done. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Mr. Vos?
Thank you. You know, we had mentioned we're going to be reviewing our sign bylaw here in town, and Joe, what I'd like you to look into is, talk with the building official, the zoning enforcement officer, and have her take a look at all the signs we have in town. We have more it seems like every business in town now, or maybe they're a home business, are just going out and they're sticking these signs in their yard, and they're there for these aren't the signs that people, Joe's siding, he's doing some siding, and he puts a sign up for the duration of the project. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the hundreds of signs you see around town. The people are just sticking them in their lawn. They're unpermitted. And I think it's only fair that we ask those people to take those signs down, because the majority of the signs that we do have in town are are licensed, permitted signs. And I think it's getting to the point where we just got sign pollution. We look at all the stop signs we have, and we're trying to tackle that problem. I think we need to look at the problem of the large amount of unpermitted signs that we have in the town of Oxford.
Why we do that?
That's all I got. Thank you.
You brought up the Joe Jenny Road is open. Has anyone driven on that road, seen they did a good job patching it?
I checked with Sean Dival this afternoon, and he was there, he saw it patched, and they will be, of course, responsible to maintain it, they being mobile.
I just wanted to see if there's any way that we could put an officer on maybe somewhere by the Veranda Cafe in the parking lot during like rush hour traffic to try to prevent the people from coming up Sutton Ave to turn. So if people the traffic's always backing up there, coming straight towards Charlton Street or taking a right and going north up Route 12. The people who always seem to go in the left-only lane and scoot right in front of everybody going straight, you know, to cut the traffic. And the concern that I have is coming up Charlton Street, taking the left to go north on Route 12. When you're waiting to take that left, and then the guy blows around the left only lane and cuts off, you know, the guy going straight. When you're sitting there waiting to take the left, you know, you're assuming that the guy in the left lane the left only lane is turning left like they're supposed to, not gonna switch lanes and go straight, you know. And I'm just worried that, they're trying to prevent an accident from, happening, somebody clipping the guy waiting at the green light to turn left. It's kind of a big pet peeve of mine. If I'm going through the center, sitting there waiting, and then all of a sudden I see the guy coming at me, blowing out of the left only lane, coming straight. So I didn't know if there was a way, if an officer could sit over by the Veranda Cafe and kind of monitor the traffic going through there to make sure.
Charlton Street.
On Charlton Street, yes.
Okay. I know they had been checking, because in the morning, there's the left-only lane that enters Main Street on Charlton,
Mhm.
has the yellow island, and people were driving. You're not supposed to cross the yellow line,
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
That's basic, that's driving 101. You're not supposed to go over, and there were warnings and tickets given because they were stacking up in the other lane,
Right.
trying to take a left turn, heading north.
Yeah. I mean, I think mainly it's like afternoon traffic when everyone's trying to rush.
Afternoon?
Yeah, I think when people are trying to come home from work, because that's when I see that when you get off the 395 ramp coming towards the center. I mean, that's where it seems to back up. So everybody goes to the left lane to cut off the traffic. They're sitting in the left only lane, and when it turns green, they go straight instead of turning left. And so that's what I'm concerned about is the person on the other end of it coming up Charlton Street to turn left. To turn left to go north on Route 12 is where, the accident will be. I mean, it's
Yeah.
something that kind of.
That does happen.
Bothers me.
I've seen it happen myself. I'm sure
Right.
we all have. And it's during that peak time.
Mm.
I don't see any reason why we can't notify the police department of the problem so that they can have somebody randomly
Right.
sitting there checking it out. Okay, yes.
I'll notify the chief.
It's too bad we couldn't have an unmarked vehicle, because having an officer in that area, people are gonna change their habits, so, they could see that vehicle and say, oops, okay, I'll take the left. Because I know exactly what you're saying.
Right.
It is a frustrating situation.
Yeah.
It's like people taking left-hand turns out of Cumberland Farms,
Right.
to
exactly.
get down Sutton Ave. They do that all the time.
Yeah. That's
There's an
normal.
officer around,
Right.
they don't do that, so.
I know that when Charlton Street is going to be reconstructed, they're going to kind of address that problem. It's going to be more of a
Oh,
tapering
really?
effect. That's
Oh, that's good.
a few years down the road. That was one of
Yeah.
the first
I mean-
questions I had. But maybe in the short term, is maybe stick up some of those vertical, they stick to the ground little markers there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy to drive over marking, but you can't drive through a little.
Okay. Yeah, you mean the people coming
But I think he's talking about the people coming.
up Sutton Avenue towards the center.
Towards the
That's what he's
center.
talking
Oh,
about.
he's not talking about on Charlton Street here.
No, because I'm just worried about. 'Cause
Oh,
what I'm worried
well,
about is
that's-
the person coming up Charlton Street, cutting off the person on Charlton Street trying to turn left,
Turn
going
north,
north
yeah.
on Route 12.
Instead of taking a left, they go
I
straight.
see
and
what
cut
you're
off
saying.
those
Get into
people
that
in the
left
right-hand
lane on
lane.
Sutton Ave.
Yeah.
Oh,
And at the
Instead
last
of
minute,
turning,
Oh,
they go
okay.
straight.
Straight.
and at the last minute,
And,
right?
and I've had somebody do that to me, and I'm waiting in line
Right.
patiently, like everybody else,
Yeah.
and then this
And then they're coming right
truck
at you.
comes up on the left and
Scares the heck out of you.
goes right up around you and down Charlton Street.
Right.
Yeah, that's not good.
So, it does happen.
Mm.
So if we can bring it to the police's attention, maybe if they stop a few of these people that are doing it,
I know.
the word will get out.
And if you think about it, I always thought people took the left.
Right.
And I've done it. You take the left, and then real quick you take a right onto Barton Street,
Right.
Right.
and you're on Charlton Street.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's
Yeah.
like the path of least resistance. Because in the evening, there's very little backup on Charlton Street. Oh, well. I'll bring it to the chief's attention. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else?
That's all.
Okay, I have nothing this evening, so with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Call for the vote.
Yes.
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 Yes, by the affirmative, we are adjourned. Thank you for coming in.
Check out the list of members and their legislative